What's the good word, y'all? It's your boys. We're here. Welcome to the flight, the Jets Flight Squad. To be specific, it's your boy DKBxJets here. We got Gunny Gumby of New York Jets Situation Report. We got Italy Jet from Everything NYJ. We've had us a day, boys. Did everybody get a
Facts.
chance to keep the press conference?
I did.
Yeah.
Oh, a lot to unpack though. I think it's good though. The answers that I wanted to be answered, I think he answered them a little bit for me. I mean, of course there's always going to be question marks. I mean, Salah is all about keeping things positive, right? He's always deferring to Joe Douglas, like ask Joe Douglas, right? Oop. Is someone making a call? Who's making a call?
My bad. I'm getting a call from I got it.
Oh, okay. Um, but yeah, so I think it's a lot to unpack. I think it's really good. I like that they're going after people. I like that they want to keep things the same on defense. I know we've lost a lot of guys, but I think we can get guys back. He's just not worried. He just seems calm, cool, collected. I like that. He's not worried, but I think if we don't get things going a little bit, could be worried just a little, but I'm satisfied from this interview. What do you think, DK?
Yeah, I was good with it. One of the questions that's kind of been on my mind is, there's been a turning point, right? We've added more veterans, really than we have in the first 2 years,
Right.
and it's basically a drastic approach, right? We went from most useful team to probably somewhere in like the middle of the pack, maybe upper third in terms of age. But his reasoning for it made a lot of sense, right? Everything with this is about kind of the shift in the movement, the not even the culture development anymore, but the developmental ability of some of the younger guys on there, and having these veterans in place to kind of help self-correct. So I know he name dropped Denzel Mims, which was interesting. I was more so surprised that he brought up Irvin Charles, which is a guy that if I recall correctly, he's been hanging on to the roster for 2 years or so on the practice squad. I
Yeah.
think one of the big body dudes, right? He's like the 6'5", 6'6" kid, if I'm remembering
Yeah.
correctly.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I like the fact that he spoke to the veterans a little bit.
Mhm.
The big one to me though was obviously the Ezekiel Elliott call out. That's not going to end up being a thing. And then our own free agents, Carl Lawson and Corey Davis, potentially not being moved whatsoever. So
Yeah.
uh, it just kind of everything about this offseason so far has kind of seemed like that full steam ahead approach. It's really going to be it's not. I think playoffs or bust is not even like the floor where we're talking about. Right? Playoffs is. I don't think it's a mandate because it's an expectation at this point, which is a nice reality, boost from where we've been at previously. So I know
Yeah.
he talked about a bunch of other things, but those were some of the main things I kind of keyed in on.
And before you go, Gunny, I wanted to ask you a question. I'm actually okay with keeping Corey Davis and Lawson if you reconstruct their contracts. I know Salah was mentioning, with the offensive line coach and running back coach, he knows Corey Davis well. Maybe he can rejuvenate something, but I'm actually okay with keeping them now if we can reconstruct them. Gunny, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. The whole Corey Davis comment was kind of shocking to me.
Okay.
I think at this
Okay.
point, he's been awfully quiet this offseason. We haven't heard much from him. You hear a lot of individuals showing excitement about the potential of having an Aaron Rodgers, and Corey Davis has been, what I'm saying, not existent, right?
Mhm.
So for me, I think a portion of what he said today was a little bit of just coach speak in terms of Corey Davis. I
Mhm.
just don't see how Odell Beckham is in the picture and
Yeah.
we carry all of these wide receivers. It's not feasible. Especially
Yeah.
when you talk about trying to get Aaron Rodgers contract underneath this cap. Um, but I'm with DK. When I heard that Carl Lawson was going anywhere, I knew then I was just like, all right. I think a lot of us were kind of hoping he wasn't going anywhere. I kind of want to see what this dude looks like freaking a year removed from his surgery and he being healed up. I think going into year two post surgery, you're going to see a more explosive, the Carl Lawson we all thought we were getting. And again, he had a good season this year. A lot of people keep thinking like he had 7 sacks this season. He was atop of the league again in pressures. He had a good season. but I don't think we were even tapping into what his full potential is because he was still kind of playing a little bit with hesitation. So I'm excited about the Carl Lawson piece. I just don't see how. Say it again.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, Carl Lawson said a couple of points at like mid-season. I think even on like the back quarter of the last handful of games that he feels like he's just catching up to speed where he should be at.
Yeah. And it's true. It's true. An injury like that, like an Achilles, ACL, same thing we're talking about Breece Hall, right? We might not see Breece Hall at full strength. I mean, medically speaking, he'll be at full strength come season opener. But mentally speaking, is a big difference. And we won't see that until probably mid-season if we're lucky. So I don't know, man. If we keep Corey Davis and bring on Odell and we have Carl, there's only one reason you do all that, bringing in Aaron Rodgers. The whole mantra right now is focus on getting to the Super Bowl. Because these are literally win now moves. You can go ahead and cut Corey Davis right now, and it's just cap relief. You know, you could go ahead and add him to this trade to Aaron Rodgers, which again is I still believe is going to be what happens. But if somehow, some way, Corey Davis is on this roster with Aaron Rodgers on this roster, and we somehow get Odell Beckham, this is not a move for, hey guys, we're going to go ahead and get to the playoffs and hopefully make a little run to get. No, this is full steam ahead. We're trying to get to a Super Bowl kind of move, and I'd love it. How are you going to guard a wide receiver room like that? If you have Corey Davis, Allen Lazard, Garrett Wilson, Odell Beckham, freaking McCall Hardman, how are you going to guard a wide receiver room like that? It's going to be a nightmare. So personally, if it does happen, wow. But I still believe Corey Davis is definitely part of that trade package to get Aaron Rodgers. And
if he is, I know if he is, then I think Mims is going to stay. I know he hasn't taken back his trade request, just like Moore didn't. And I know Moore now we all know that Moore asked for a trade for the second time, and that kind of like left some things with Jets fans and content creators. I know you two love him a lot, and you think he's going to be missed a lot, and that's totally fine. I love the Hardman pickup. He's fat. I mean, stats speaking, he's faster than Tyreek Hill when he's healthy, right? When he's healthy, but he's not. He's still got a lot of work to do to come back, but I think it's an upgrade with Berrios. I wouldn't mind keeping Corey Davis, but it's just going to be packed because if Mims goes and you got to keep him, but if Mims is staying, I mean, then it's going to be a long run. It's going to be a very long run when Rodgers comes. He's going to have a stacked running back room, a stacked tight end room, and a wide receiver room. I don't think he hasn't had that since the Super Bowl run. So for the Packers. And just like you said, Gunny, and I agree with you. You know what Mitchell's coming back with that injury. Lawson's coming back with that. Sorry, the blood clot with Mitchell, but the Vera Tucker injury, and then Breece Hall. They're physically they're ready to go, but mentally it's a lot to come back from. Just like we've seen from Zach Wilson, his mind is just not there. So time will tell.
You say? I think you meant to say Elijah Moore. McCall Hardman is faster than Elijah Moore because you said Tyreek Hill. You meant Elijah Moore?
Well, did you see? There's some. I was saying both when healthy.
Nah, man. Tyreek Hill's on a whole different level. Yeah, 4.28. 4.28 versus a 4.33. It's not even close.
It might be a little bit. I seen him burning people on like the 100-meter run or whatever he did.
I was looking at that in the route running. I went back to like draft. I looked at his draft, and I looked at like stuff on Twitter and Google, but just everything with Kansas City Chiefs as well. Like they were saying that Hardman was going to replace Tyreek Hill at one point, and that ended up did not happening. But
right.
I get what you're going. Okay.
But you know what I mean? Like that was like the transition. It just didn't work out, which is fine. But I'm excited to see when he's healthy that maybe he can get back to that.
Two totally different players, but I know the way I look at it. And like as far as Corey Davis goes, I don't care one way or the other, but it makes sense if he stays from a few different standpoints. For one, when you look at the offense, and I know he didn't call plays during his time with the Packers, but when you look at the offenses he's run, he doesn't do a whole lot of multiple wide receiver sets, referring to Nathaniel Hackett. So generally, we're going to be running 2 tight end sets, 2 and 3 wide receivers, things like that. So having your big bodies, Allen Lazard and Corey Davis, out on the boundaries, who are two of the better run blocking wide receivers in the league, makes a lot of sense for how they're going to plan to attack things, especially when you look at the way Keith Carter implemented his run game with the Titans. Two, I think it probably kind of follows the veteran movement. I know he's not a newer guy, but when you take a look at the depth chart, Garrett Wilson's, everybody's expecting him to improve. Corey Davis, just by virtue of having Aaron Rodgers, I'd say he improved. He looked good under Zach Wilson, Mike White, et cetera, et cetera. But then you have the obvious upgrades. Well, maybe not obvious, but either way, Allen Lazard technically is the Corey Davis replacement if he does go on the trade.
Right.
I call that like a stalemate almost. I don't actually see Allen Lazard as an upgrade. We're talking about him playing 5 years with Aaron Rodgers. He hasn't put up anything close to what Corey Davis has done. So it's a stalemate in the best case scenario for me, but still an adequate replacement if Corey Davis does go. But then Mecole Hardman over Braxton Berrios over, Jeff Smith, the bottom tier guys.
Yeah.
A huge boost. He's basically going to, if things connect the right way, right? Aaron Rodgers didn't have a deep threat option for the majority of the first half of the season. He really didn't even find it until the last 5 to 7 games of the year. Then Christian Watson started to find himself open a little bit more. They were able to do a lot of things with play action with Romeo Doubs. So
both those guys, yeah.
Yeah, Mecole Hardman can take the top off with Aaron Rodgers at any given point in time, which is going to have to force the way the defense will play us with double high safeties. It's going to open things up down low, et cetera, et cetera. Mecole Hardman can probably put up a 7-touchdown season on his own over the course of 17 games. So I'm excited about the whole thing. Corey Davis is just kind of icing on the top if he stays. I don't even think, from what I heard today, that I didn't hear an indication that Odell Beckham Jr. is definitely coming. It was more so, yes, there's some interest. Yes, we're looking into it as part of our initial. Right. If it gets done, cool. I think it moves the needle for sure. He's immediately the number 2 wide receiver on the team to me. But there's still some things we're going to lose out on, right? The run game, the run blocking. He does have better positional versatility, but the durability concerns, you can almost call that a bit of a stalemate with Corey Davis as well, right? If they play the same amount of games, Odell Beckham's going to have the better numbers. But in terms of everything else, you're kind of taking a bit of a step back from it. So if he comes, if he goes, I don't think is as big of a news as everybody waiting on like Aaron Rodgers himself to actually show up.
Yeah, like you said, I think Corey Davis is the icing on the cake, man. Like he's just that surprise. It's a benefit. He's a cherry on top. But I don't think anybody's going to be upset if we lose Corey Davis because again, Allen Lazard in essence is the same player in terms of production on the Jets, right? So Corey Davis' biggest concern, man, he couldn't stay healthy. Not being able to stay healthy is it's important. It's invaluable, and because of that, especially with us, those key drops that he would have also. This fan base, man, you're disposable. And I think at this point, if he stays, it's still a win. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. If he stays, it's a win. But that's only if he stays. We're still able to get Aaron Rodgers, and somehow we get Odell Beckham. But I think, if I'm being honest, if we lost Elijah, there's some things Elijah could do that Corey Davis couldn't do. And I think Odell can do some of those things. With Allen Lazard being there and Mims still being on the offense, I kind of feel like you can almost overdo it in terms of replacing Corey Davis's production with those two big bodies. They're both great blockers. And again, that, like you said before, would be the biggest component we would possibly miss, putting Odell Beckham in there. Nobody else on the team can do what Elijah Moore does. Maybe Garrett Wilson. I think Odell Beckham can, right? Clean route runner. He can go ahead and expose you in the slot on the outside. I think he's one of those guys where, given the opportunity with Aaron Rodgers, if he stays healthy, would probably produce more than Corey Davis in the same healthy season, even though he's 30 years old, something like that. Personally, I don't want him. I'll put that out there. I don't want Odell Beckham. I just at this point,
me neither.
I like. I love the dynamic in our locker room, man. I love the dynamic, and for us to bring him in, and I don't know, man. Back-to-back seasons, torn ACLs. He hasn't had a season above 27 catches in 3 years.
Exactly.
I don't see how he's going to move the needle that much, but predominantly because I don't think he can get through a full season. I just don't. 31 years old. How many 31
but
plus year old wide receivers do y'all know freaking like dominating and being impactful in the league nowadays? It doesn't
very
happen.
thin.
It doesn't
It's
happen.
very thin.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, I just don't think Odell would be happy with the Jets because of how much targets that he wants. Odell, that was one of the issues with the Rams. Yes, did they win a Super Bowl? Yes, but he wanted a lot of the targets, and that kind of kind of didn't have what Jefferson, because Jefferson was injured too, but Cooper Kupp, he got a lot of targets, but Beckham was mad when he didn't get a lot of the targets. We don't need that. We all know that Garrett Wilson is going to have a lot of targets here, and then whoever's behind him is going to get the ball. I think he's just not going to be happy. Now, would it be an asset to bring him in? Yeah, but I would much rather keep Corey Davis, honestly, if we didn't get Odell, because of all the stuff that's coming together. I think he can have a bounce back year, but I do agree with you, Gunny. I just can't see it.
I think he'd be an impact player in this limited time. For the record, he's not a guy that I wanted either. And I kind of went back more so to the locker room, issues, the diva mentality stuff.
Right.
But I did look into it. There does seem like there's been better maturity issues and stuff like that from him. So I'm not as worried about a locker room perspective. But still, wide receivers are wide receivers. Everybody, Garrett Wilson has said it very early in his tenure. Like, he wants the ball 100% of every play, right? So
Exactly.
I think that is definitely still there. But everything with me right now, again, is give or take, but it's kind of recency bias. I look at what he did in the playoffs, 100-plus yard, game against, God damn it, who did they play in the championship?
Talking about the Bengals? Is this the Rams they're talking about? With Odell?
Yeah.
Bengals. They faced against the Bengals in the Super Bowl.
100-plus yards against the Bengals, 2 catches, 54 yards or something like that, and a touchdown before he went down in the Super Bowl. So, like, he still got it. I do think he'd actually probably be an upgrade over Elijah Moore, and that's just due to the physical, the player archetype. He's a little bit taller, stronger hands, different things like that. So it is what it is for me. But I think this is the first time I remember us pouring these many resources into the offense. Even if you take Aaron Rodgers off the table, what we've done in the wide receiver room, the tight end room, offensive line, even if you just want to go based off health, looks really good. Dwayne Brown coming back, Mekhi Becton looking like a freaking tight end.
He's looking good. Yeah.
Becton's, I'm happy for him, man. I hope he does well.
I'm hoping he balls the hell out, and we'll kind of get into the draft piece here a little bit I wanted to talk about, but it's a really well-rounded roster for the most part if you exclude health from the situation.
Mm-hmm. We talk about the draft now?
Yeah, actually, we can dive into it.
I got a question for you guys. The bus says if Green Bay is going to get a good package from us, they can literally hold out to the day before the season as long as they will accept 2024 draft compensation. Mm-hmm. Like, that's good for the Jets.
Yeah.
Like, people are so worried about Aaron Rodgers is probably not going to show up for freaking, volunteer workouts and shit.
Anyway. He's not an OTA guy. Offense. He's not an OTA guy.
Like the bus, I hope the Packers are that dumb. I hope they would rather supersede compensation this season and worry about the following couple of years. Because who'd be upset about giving up Aaron Rodgers for two conditional firsts if both of those firsts are going to be freaking in the 30s or higher range? I'm not going to be upset about that. But you're talking about potentially an individual that can change this team from 12 years, no playoffs to Super Bowl contenders. And I really do believe Aaron Rodgers is going to play for 2 years. I do believe that. So I hope the Packers are that stupid. I hope their organization is that dumb and naive to decide they want to go ahead and evaluate whether or not Jordan Love is who they want to go with without extra pieces around him this year to help the kid. I hope they're that dumb to bypass this draft. Like, we should all be praying they're that stupid, because yes, they will probably get more in compensation if they wait for the next 2 years of the draft. I wouldn't be upset about it, and I don't know many Jets fans who would be if it becomes conditional first and they get over the next 2 years depending on performance.
I mean, it would help. It would help that they're just that stupid. From all the former players that have spoken about this, agreeing with Aaron Rodgers, it sounds like that's what's going on. You've seen Lazard on TMZ Sports. You've seen Greg Jennings. Like, there's a lot of these guys that are speaking what happens with the Green Bay Packers when it comes to the GM, when it comes to their playing style, and when it comes to the stuff that's been happening the last decade. I think now it's going to be up to them. But if they were smart, they would do it before the draft or a few days before the draft just to help Love. Yeah, I'm all for them trying to figure out Love because, I mean, you did go up in 2020 to jump up to get him, which was really stupid in my opinion. But, hey, it is what it is, the Green Bay Packers. But I think what people in the Green Bay Packers community, like Gunny said, and a few of my friends have said it, they're not used to losing. They're used to winning. They're used to going to the playoffs. Yep. They're used to every single year being competitive, and a lot of that is Aaron Rodgers. Now there's a lot of boo-hoos, and then there's a lot of, oh, yeah, let's go roll with Jordan Love. Jordan Love's not going to be good that first year. He's still going to try and get used to everything. So right now, even if he skips OTAs, what if he retires? If he's just sick of everything, do you think Rodgers retires and then do like a Favre and then go to the Jets like he did with the Vikings? Do you think he retires and then goes to the Jets? I don't know. Be cheaper for us.
If I remember, it doesn't really work like that. Even if he retires and then decides to unretire, you still get back into the whole trade conversation situation. But so I guess as far as like this Aaron Rodgers trade package stuff, right? I think clearly anybody that pays attention to cap space and, trade value charts and all that kind of stuff, nobody's going to care about what the draft picks look like for the New York Jets in 2024, 2025. You can send them, like Gunny said, to conditional first. It is what it is. I think it will behoove Green Bay to get it done sooner than later because they're running into a couple of issues. I just dropped a video about this today. They have Jordan Love's fifth-year contract or fifth-year option, on his contract that they have to decide on by May 1st. That's going to be about $20 or $22 million, something like that. I think it was $20.24 million, fully guaranteed, right? They haven't made any moves off free agency to improve the roster. They have freaking Josiah DeGuara and, Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs as their top options right now. In the draft, their best option to hit an impact player to help Jordan Love out is probably going to be at tight end, like a Dalton Kincaid or somebody. And then after that, it's going to be pretty much a wash. So I don't know how many resources they plan on adding around their guy that they've suddenly picked over Aaron Rodgers. And you have the opportunity. Let's say the New York Jets is offering one of our seconds and a future, 2024 pick, second, first round, or whatever it is. They need to jump at that because I don't know what else you plan on. I don't know what trade package they plan on getting, right? We're not giving you multiple first, at least not for this year. We're not giving you both of our second round picks. And you have Jordan Love that's behind an aging offensive line and very limited weapons. So how committed are you really if you're not going to try to invest in him right here, right now? And if you decline his fifth-year option, you only have this 1 year to decide on before you either have to franchise tag him for a higher amount or you end up having to already slap a long-term extension on him. And you've seen how that played out with your Hall of Fame quarterback. So they're up against the wall. I don't try to dive too much into the leverage conversation, but I just can't see them, looking down on us, as everybody likes to put it.
I love how people keep bringing up the leverage thing. It's like it's just a stalemate. Green Bay's not going to back down. Jets aren't going to back down. Everyone at this very moment, it's like a game of war. And I don't think we're going to budge. I really think we got all the leverage. There's Green Bay Packers. It's just running out of time for them.
Yeah, I've heard the most ridiculous things.
That's it. That's all it is. That's what it is. Perfect way. It's a game of chicken. This isn't chess. This ain't even checkers. This is a game of chicken. Like I love the logic of, we'll just keep Aaron Rodgers on the roster and that it'll be what it is. Really? You're going to have him back up Jordan Love? I've never seen a more delusional fan base. I'm not gonna lie to you. Before this whole situation, I had the utmost respect for Packers fan base. I've had the pleasure of dealing with them like face to face when I've gone to Lambeau Field to watch Jets versus Packers. I thought they were a high IQ, just like quality fan base. But again, we are judging the majority of the fan base from the few that just want to go ahead and run their mouths. And every fan base, I believe, has that 10%. All of us do, right? There's 10% that are just casuals that love to talk and have no clue how to discern or understand the game in any capacity. But hey, their dad or their mom rooted for a team, so they're rooting for that same team. The thing is this, like we are comfortable. We've known struggle as an organization. Like for us, we've seen dysfunction as an organization, and we see it happening right now, unfolding before our eyes with the Packers organization, and they have no clue what's coming. The very logic that you'd be okay with Aaron Rodgers backing up Jordan Love while paying that man $60 million a year to do so. Imagine if Jordan Love sucks. Imagine if Jordan Love, all that little hype they're getting from watching him play in the preseason, comes down to, oh man, this kid can't play at this level, and you have to turn to Aaron Rodgers, who, by all indications, is one petty motherfucker. I feel like people don't realize that he is one petty individual. He literally, passive-aggressively just spoke about the shit organization that he's dealing with right now on the Pat McAfee show. And the blindness that these people have just made me laugh. I'm like, how are y'all? Every other fan base, every analyst, every other GM is telling y'all, this guy, they would not give up a first-round pick for this guy. But Packers and Packers fan base think that's what they deserve. Somebody really had an argument talking about, like, yeah, he's worth a first-round pick. Really? If he's worth
39,
pick, why aren't we giving that to you? The thing is this, though, like, people don't understand what value is. They're under the impression, like, okay, I think my house is worth $5 million. Does that mean my house is worth $5 million? No. I know for a fact the current compensation for my house in this area is about $380. I can wish for $5 million, for $1 million. It don't fucking matter what I think. Compensation, my boss is worth what somebody is willing to pay for it. That has everything in the world. You don't see if it was how we felt things cost, I'd buy a Lamborghini right now. I think a Lamborghini is worth a couple $1,000s. We don't have Lambos if that's how it works. That is not how it works. What something is worth is what somebody is willing and able to pay for it. And in this situation, we're not negotiating against anybody else. It's the Jets. I think freaking Buffalo said something that was awesome. He said in an argument with some guy on Twitter, if he asked him, like, if he was worth a first, why is no other team offering you guys that first round pick for him? This dumbass really thought he had some leverage. He's like, well, because you're the only trade partners.
No, it wasn't true.
We're the market.
We're the market true before. Yeah.
But a lot of people,
we're the market.
Supply and demand.
They don't understand supply and demand. And that's why it's so funny to me, because I was like, man, I thought they were a highly educated fan base. And the more this is going on, the more I'm like, I wish more of the intelligent individuals would come out and have conversations, because the 10% that are talking right now, bro, I'm just like, my God. It's just
I'm at my doctor's office, and I came across a Packers family, and I'm in a bowling league. I come across another Packers family. They said, give me your first and Sauce Gardner. I'm like, I'll give you rocks in my bowling shoes for Aaron Rodgers. How about that? It's like, dude, it's not going to happen. And these people think that they want a first round pick. And I even asked these guys, what would you give me? What would you give me for Aaron, for because we're the only ones. We're the only ones. It's not the Raiders anymore. They've said that they don't want him. They got their guy, Jimmy. It's fine. What would you give me? And same thing. They're just assholes. Give me Sauce Gardner and a first-round pick. I'm like, all right, I'm wasting my time.
Yeah. All right. So I wanted to run through this. We'll keep it to the first two rounds. I did want to go under the assumption that maybe Joe Douglas takes this to the, final minutes, and we end up not making a trade until after the draft, or at least until after day 2. So where are you guys at mentality-wise with how you're spending our 13th pick and our 42nd and 43rd pick in the second rounds? What's your plan of attack there?
Me, go first. I think it's kind of easy for me, man. I think right now, watching Jalen Carter just drop down so many draft boards, I'm having a hard time seeing us pass him if he's there for us at 13 at pick 13. I think for me, if Jalen Carter is there, it's a no-brainer. You rush to the podium, you give up the card. This kid is a difference maker. He's arguably the best player in this draft. I've been doing a little bit of analyst trying to go ahead and get ready to do a mock draft, a live draft. And bro, this kid, he's the best player in the draft, and I don't think it's close. Like the man is disruptive. He's a wrecking ball, and he's consistently done so. I mean, speed, strength. He can beat you in any which ways. Like flexibility, it don't make no kind of sense. This is a guy that can get you easily 8 to 10 sacks in the middle of the field, bro. Like that to me is so underrated. Him next to Q, oh man, I feel bad for a lot of offense we'll be facing. So for me, as I'm watching Jalen Carter continue to slide down so many boards, man, I can't help but think that's the guy. That's the guy. So
yeah.
Now the next move for me is this: if we still hold on to both seconds because the Packers did us a favor and decided they want to wait till the start of the season to let go of Aaron Rodgers, I see us utilizing both of those picks to go ahead and move back up into the first. And the reason I say that is they're either going to go after JSM or they're going to go after one of those offensive tackles that's on the board. And I think you want one of those guys to secure either the interior of the line or that left tackle spot. A lot of people are talking about Broderick Jones, but man, I love me some Paris Johnson. I don't know if he'll be there. A mock draft says he will. I have a hard time believing he's going to drop past pick 15, but exactly. a lot of the mock drafts I'm doing has him dropping past that. If that's the case, and you trade up, you package both twos, trade back into the first, and you will get your boy JSM, which I think the center. I'd be okay with that if he's a late first rounder, or you go and you get Paris Johnson. I'd be excited about that. I don't think Skowronski is going to be available. I think he's going to be the first offensive tackle taken off the board.
Who?
Peter Skowronski.
Oh, yeah.
I always say his name wrong. Yeah, he's going to be the first one taken off the board.
The Northwestern kid, right? Northwestern kid? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, man, that's my first 2 rounds. It's Jalen Carter if he's there. Now, if Jalen Carter is gone, then you go with the best offensive tackle available, your favorite one. And then in the second, you go ahead and either, again, same thing. You package those 2 up, move up to get JSM. I don't think JSM is going to fall into the second round. I think he's going to be the center. And I think between him and the next best guy, it's like leaps and bounds between the next guy. But the Ohio State center, I like him a lot too.
Whiteler.
There was another guy I was looking. Yeah, Whiteler. I like him a lot too. He's young too, young kid. So I'm okay with him. And there was another guy too that I liked. I'm having a brain fart right now. But between one of those 2 guys, they'll fall into the second. But for me, I don't see us having 2 second-round picks. I just don't. There's nothing in any of my even imaginary like scenarios that the New York Jets are going to use both second-round picks. I think we're going to either use one of those picks to get Aaron Rodgers, or we're going to use one of those picks to package up and move back into the first.
Fair enough. Gino, what about you?
I think you just get the best player available at any offensive line position, whether it's center or someone else. I love Jones. I love a Northwestern kid. There's something about those guys that I could see them just having a very long career, and their mindset is nothing I've seen in a very long time when it comes to the draft. I think overall, if I agree with Gunny, I don't think we're going to have any second rounders. I can totally see us either moving back or even going up. Joe Douglas is he's a go-getter with this draft that we saw last year. He's going to go up and get his guy, and he will do whatever it takes. So I think there's going to be some curveballs, but I think overall, I like the linebacker out of Iowa if he's available in the second round, if we have someone. You know what? This is going to be a shocker, and I understand if Davis and Mims aren't here. I'm loving that Marvin Harrison Jr. kid out of Ohio State. I see a lot of Marvin Harrison in him, and
he won't come up to next year though.
Huh?
You talking about Jackson Smith?
No,
Marvin Harrison doesn't come out till next draft.
Well, fuck that. Then I'm dumb. Then, so here we go. Get any wide receiver at Ohio State. I think that's a must. They've been producing a lot of great wide receivers lately, and I love it. I love what they're doing. But offensive alignment, and I love the Carter. I think I agree with Gunny. I think he's the best defensive player in this draft, and he will work really well with JFM. I think he can work well with Quinnen Williams. That's a must. So those, and just any offensive line guys.
Yeah, Jalen Carter's nasty. I just got a chance to dive into it. I was going to do a whole scouting breakdown, and I was like, he's not going to make it. Even injuries aside, we got Seattle ahead of us. We got Detroit ahead of us. Like, those are teams that generally are willing to bypass some character issues for guys they consider blue chip talent. So it's a pipe dream for me, but if he's there, like, I will fly to Kansas City and turn the card in myself. Like, it needs to be done. But I think so. I took it from the standpoint I'm looking exactly at who we have on the roster right now. And as far as like Gino, you mentioned something too that I've been considering a lot. Like Joe Douglas has been willing to move up in the first round or two, move up, move down as needed. But it's been more so for those focal points that Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh love, an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman, right? Jermaine Johnson, AVT. I think we've hit that point now where we can technically draft for best player available, but more so like the high ceiling guys that don't need to necessarily start right away. I don't think, and again, this is kind of excluding health, so it's a bit of a risk. I don't think we need to take a shot at a tackle right away. At least not at 13. There's still quite a few. I like 5 or 6 guys within the first round or two. So, it's a bit different for me. At 13, I'm still thinking trade down is probably the option. Either that, or I think we take a swing at a guy like maybe, I want to say Jackson Smith to replace a guy that we would have had in Elijah Moore. You still want to try to keep that wide receiver unit young, especially for when Rodgers is gone in a year or two. So I can see us going that way. Otherwise, I'm kind of expecting a trade down from 13, get a couple more picks. And then I'm assuming we'll probably be somewhere between like mid and early 20s. The guy that I like is at least in that range. I would take a swing on DeJuan Jones, or more realistically, I think, damn it, what's the dude's name? I want to say it's Harrison. I think that'd be my go-to target. I think he was one of the best run blockers out of the tackles in there, and I think that's going to be kind of the premium right away. And you can groom him over the year while he's doing right tackle, whatever. The tackle situation to me is only unsettled from a health and then contractual standpoint. Mekhi Becton probably not getting his 5th-year option guaranteed. Dwayne Brown will probably end up retiring after this year. So I don't think it's from a talent perspective. I think we just need to refill the cupboards, and I don't think we need to do it as early as 13. So I would go Harrison at tackle in the mid-20s if we can trade back, or DeJuan Jones. In the second, I really hope John Michael Schmitz is there, because we don't have a center currently, at least not a proven one.
No way.
And he's definitely plug and play. But when you take a look at the history of how the draft has been going, centers don't historically get drafted very high, right? I had the guy Linderbaum I really loved last year, but there's only been 2 in like the last 12 years or something like that have been taken in the first round. So unless somebody really just loves him, I'm hoping he's there. But if he's not, I also am strongly becoming attached to Joe Tippmann out of I want to say he's the Wisconsin Vet. The 6'6" dude, I think he's playing at like 320-ish. Like, his ceiling is so high for what he can do, and the way he moves at the position is absolutely ridiculous in the phone booth. So I think it would be fun to see a roster that has him on it, especially if you're trolling out a Mekhi Becton, a DeJuan Jones as your tackles, Joe Tippmann in the middle, and then you have Elijah Vera Tucker, All-Pro, and Laken Tomlinson, who we hope has a bounce-back season. I think you can consider saying you're looking at a top 5, top 10 offensive line, at least on paper.
On paper, yeah.
And then at least for the second pick, I think that's when we start looking at the tackles. I like Sika Ika, or I want to say that's his name, Ika Sika. One of those variations. I kind of like him. Javante Davis, I think his name is. He's a guy that has a high ceiling you can swing on and kind of have him play, I guess, the JFM role to a certain degree. So definitely doubling down in the offensive line twice. But I think everything is realistically like, what's your flavor? What is it that you're really prioritizing? I think when it comes to the tackles, we're going to try to find the guy that has the best run blocking ability, and maybe somebody that still has the potential to be a future left tackle. I don't want to say that it's a requirement right now. I think if Mekhi Becton goes out and he has another season a step above of what he did his rookie year, I think Joe Douglas really considers trying to find an extension that's going to be team friendly, because that 5th-year option is going to be out the window. But he loves his draft picks. Elijah Moore was really an exception to the rule for him. Brady Mann's still on the roster. Like, he's not beating out not Weatherford. God damn it. We just had this conversation. He's not beating out what's our boy's name we just picked up?
You mean the punter or the punter?
Yeah, the punter.
Morstead.
Yeah, Morstead. He's not beating him out, right? So he's still trying to work the phones for like that. But Joe Douglas stands beside his guys like no other GM that we've had. So I just can't see it playing out that way.
I know he loves his draft picks, but I cannot see Joe Douglas go past the 4th or 5th round either. I think he's going to make some jumps, and I also think he's going to go back as well. I think when it comes to Joe Douglas in any draft now, because I'm convinced last year that he will do whatever it takes to get his guys. I can kind of see it being like last year where he can go up and get his guy and then go back because of all of his tactics that this guy does. I mean, I think a lot of people didn't think we were going to get Breece Hall last year. People didn't think that we'd even need to do it. But I think now it's proven that it's necessary. And now it worked out really great for us. So I just can't see us drafting after the 4th or 5th round this year.
Fair enough. I don't know. I think the volume approach probably works the best this year that it has of any, the first two. Yeah. Let me think. Joe Douglas had that weird first year where he wasn't able to draft, right? So this is his 4th.
This is his 4th actual, 4th draft, but this is his 3rd where he's actually running the show.
Yeah. And it's not Salah's old guys anymore. It's not Salah's old. This is a different team now, different coaching staff, and it's just getting different.
You mean Adam
I
Gase?
think. Huh?
You said Salah's guys? You mean Adam Gase?
I think it's a little bit of both because Salah brought in his guys that he liked. LaFleur's gone. The all offensive coaches that they brought in, it's just not some of his guys anymore. And also even some of his players too, right? His players are gone. I would say Thomas is one of them that's back. But I think this is now, I think Joe Douglas has a better control of what he can do. Like I said, he has just been playing with everybody on if he's going to go up or he's going to push back. But there is a lot of talent in this draft on the offensive side in specific positions on defense. So anything could happen.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think it's Peter Skoronski when it comes to the tackles, and then I think it's everybody else, which is why I feel comfortable being able to do a trade back move and go out and find somebody that still can be just as good as a guy like Broderick Jones at 13 or again, Paris Johnson, as he mentioned. I've been seeing him slip a bit too. I don't know. We'll see. I think this is the year, Joe. If he trades up, I don't think we see it until later. I don't think he's moving back up into the first round unless we say maybe pick 30 to 32 and John Michael Smith is still there. Maybe you don't risk it at that point. And then it won't cost too much, right? We're talking about 13 to maybe 16.
Yeah. Let's give you one of our seconds and a 4th and a 5th. Yeah, we don't. Yeah, the thing is that we have what, 2 5ths, a 4th, 2 seconds, and a 1st. So we don't have a lot of moving pieces this year that can allow him to kind of maneuver up. Now, again, you can always go ahead and dig into next year's arsenal and make that happen, right?
I think he will, though. But I really think he will.
But the thing is, this draft though really isn't that. I think the approach for this draft is it's deep in terms of talent you can get in the later rounds. Vice oh man, this guy's going to be an all-pro or anything like that, right? So that's why I don't think I think he would want to go ahead and fill a lot of the holes in this draft. This draft is going to be good to find yourself those role players. This is a draft where you're going to find guys who can actually play at the NFL level, but they're not going to be superstars. They're not going to be freaking all-pros. Yeah. And I think because of that, he might value having more picks than not in this particular draft. I do see a situation where he does trade back, though, from 13. Especially if Jalen Carter is gone or his favorite offensive tackle is gone, I can see it where he'll trade back. I don't think we're getting a wide receiver. A lot of people are hopeful that that's going to be the case. I doubt very much he's going to spend a first-round draft pick on a wide receiver this year.
I can't.
But man, if he traded back from 13 to something to go ahead and accumulate a 3rd, another, you know what I'm saying, I could see that being something he would do.
It's all going to be what he does with this Rodgers trade, though. If Mims or Davis is gone, then I can see it, but I don't think that's the priority For sure. I agree. It's not the priority, but anything could happen with this guy. I do agree with you when it comes to the stacked later rounds, right? This is a very stacked draft, especially in the third, fourth, fifth round. And he didn't even get a fifth round last year. He did everything between the first and fourth. And I could see him going into next year as well. I mean, he's got options.
I don't think he's going to try to touch the 2022 picks. If we go based off what we did today, right, where we're saying we're waiting until after the draft, or at least until after day 2, where the significant picks are gone, he's already going to be missing a first, maybe a second in 2024. And then we're talking about dipping into later round picks to try to, move up, because I don't see him trading 3 or 4 this year just to try to move up a couple of slots. So it's a trade down scenario from the 13th will be the only way I can see him trying to dip into 2024 for whatever he just copped to try to move back up into, second and third rounds. But also some of the positions we need are areas that are particularly strong here. So you can still go, you might not find an all-pro center. I don't even think John Michael Schmitz is that necessarily. I think he's just I think he's one of those guys that just ends up playing, 15, 16 years in the league, and he's just always solid. He's essentially Connor McGovern, but he can actually make a bit of an impact, right? He'll move the needle, I guess, so to speak. But we can get a defensive tackle that we need, all the way down to almost the 5th round. And we're talking starting tackles, not just guys that are going to be sitting there holding Gatorade bottles in camp. There's linebacker replacements that I really love, like some really freaking athletes out there that can do the sideline to sideline things that we love. I love the Illinois kid, Brown or whatever from Illinois.
Yeah, I like him too.
In the second, I think it's a bit high, but there's some of those pieces with like the team building philosophy and what Robert Saleh likes and stuff that I think we can find much later on. There's a bunch of names that rattle around my head all the way down into like round 4. So
I think this proves we need to do a mock draft on this channel.
It's mock draft, that just proves it, season, baby.
I think it just proves it.
We'll find the time. Yeah, thanks. There was oh man, I had tried. I think it's a little too late now. I was trying to get together I was going to have somebody that covers their teams from all 32 teams so we can run through and actually have like a legit debate and all that. But it's been so hard trying to find people and all that kind of stuff too. So maybe next year, but
I'm down. Whatever you want.
Yeah, we'll chat after and see if we can find a time that works, because I doubt we'll be able to do it within the hour.
3 weeks?
Yeah, it's about 3 weeks now, right? 3 or 4 weeks.
3 weeks for the draft.
Yeah.
He's referring to the actual 32 teams.
I gotta admit, these draft hats are awful. I don't like them. I don't even like the Jets ones. Have you guys seen the recent ones?
No, what is
them yet?
It does. The hats. When they put
whenever they get it.
Yeah, basically it just says New York up top. Then on the bottom says Jets, and it has it like dissolved in the middle, pop out of our logo. It doesn't look good. I've seen the Cardinals one; it looks a little bit better, but it just doesn't look right. I know people
can
like.
You share
that
it right now or no? So we can make fun of it.
Sure. Sure.
Oh, where the hell did DK go?
Where did he go?
I don't know.
Here, I'll go on Twitter. I'm gonna go on my iPad though, so stand by.
All right.
So just saying, put it on screen too. Man, I always end up touching some shit when I'm in this car.
We were like, where'd he go? I was like, he got so disgusted about these hats, he had to go.
Right. He's a hat guy.
I used to be.
I'm a huge hat guy.
Things changed when I got the locks, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Those should be coming back in a couple of months. That'll be fun.
Bringing it back, huh? Oh,
I didn't want to lose them the first time, but since I had them started, 3 different people had to touch them. I didn't like the way some of them came out after a while, so I finally got one lady. Unless she falls off the face of the earth, should be set.
If you guys can see them, great. If you can't, I'm sorry.
Nah, not at all. It won't let you share it through. You don't have the screen share thing on your end.
I don't know if I do.
Might have to check the settings for this.
Maybe.
But I thought
what's a script? Is it like a setting? So I got to go settings or something.
It's at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah,
say present.
Okay, present. Here we go. Yep.
Just click that, and then it'll ask you which screen you want to share, and then you just click the screen, your web browser, and it'll show it.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's weird.
Dark Soldier said we offended DK because he bought a case of those hats.
Hold on.
You bought one?
No,
I didn't know. No, he's talking about you because you jumped off the video.
Yeah, no. I thought I missed something when I popped off. I was like, did you hate the hat because you bought it and seen what it looked like in person?
All right, yeah, here we go. This is okay. Here we go. Share. Well, let's see if it works. I don't know if it worked or not.
So
yeah. No, dang it. Sorry, I'm new to the whole
clear your search history.
I got you.
Right.
I think I can do it.
I think I did it. I don't remember if I did or not. Yeah, for some reason it says it's there. I don't know if it.
So I think when you hit present, it gives you like another screen to choose which.
Yeah. Here we go. I just gotta. It says on the bottom screen that it's like another tablet of a screen.
Yeah. So click in the picture of one of them, and then it should give you like an option to share or something.
I wonder, do I gotta mute me first?
Nah, you shouldn't have to do any of that.
Shut up, Dark.
You see it?
No, I don't see it.
I don't.
Oh my goodness,
that's weird. Yeah, I don't even have the option from my phone. I don't think that's a thing on my side.
I think we gotta update the subscription, I guess. I understand what you're saying, though. I think I might get with the program, old boys.
Okay, yeah. So it's nothing with the layout of how I had that set up. So
I think
Sans Beach.
I'm gonna remove me and then just add the screen. I think I'm gonna do that.
He's not coming back.
He ain't coming back. Maris goes, get with the program.
They used to have these in the 90s. Okay, hold on. Let me see.
I'm looking at them right now. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't think they're that bad. It gives you that throwback feel.
I'm gonna have to check them when I get back to work.
Yeah, I was trying to. Let me see.
Share screen.
Yeah. Boom. Share. Did that
Put
work?
Me back in. I don't see you. It doesn't have you. Okay. I see. Hold on, Gunny. I got you. That's weird. So it pops in. It didn't give me a notification. It pops in as like I'm adding another guest to the screen. That's weird.
Oh.
Okay. So
yeah, I like it.
That's not too bad.
I don't like it.
It gives me an old school vibe about it, man. I kind of like it.
That's a fire thumbnail. Hold on.
I don't like it. I like the other ones, man. I think it's because I just love the old school logos so much. I want them to come back really bad. Maybe that's it.
The only thing, man, I love our color schemes, being able to have the green, white, and black, but this probably would have been a better hat if they went with the stealth black background and then highlighted the green.
I think that's what they did the last couple years. The last couple years they kind of did that, especially when they got Zach Wilson. Remember, that was a sick hat. I love that hat. Huh?
I'd rock both of these.
I'd rock this. I'm not gonna lie to you. I would rock this. I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't.
No,
To be fair, I need more New York Jets stuff in my life, anyways. But yeah, I'm not mad at this.
I'm mad at this. I don't know.
Normally, the way they play us is a lot of that crap is really like it's like a really bland background and shit anyway. So I kind of like the little extra touch with the logo and stuff in there.
Yeah, I won't lie. I would rock that. I would rock that like on the regular, like even on a live stream. I would rock that.
Oh man, well I guess this shows how much I know these guys.
Hey,
I'm losing my touch this week. Losing my damn touch this week. Anyway, so you guys say you would rock that. I'm a hat guy, but I don't know if I would like that.
Nah, wait. What did you say you don't like about it?
I don't like how the Jet logo is dissolved, and I don't like the lettering. The lettering of it says New York Jet. I like the font.
Okay. Oh, okay. I get it. You're a papaya dude. Okay.
No. I just have a significant other that's an artist and knows all this stuff, and I've been exposed to greatness. And now when I look at that, I'm like, yeah, it's shit.
this is that Avatar papaya font drama. I see. Good stuff. Cosmic fans, Dark Soldier's a fool. Isn't that the default that they that's like the default they slap on when you're on like Microsoft Word, right?
Something like that. All I know is I get made fun of now with my significant other, and all my friends are like, "That's shit." I'm like, I don't know. What do I know?
Yeah,
I'm surrounded by artists. I don't know.
If that's on sale, I might actually have to go and cop that.
Well,
I don't think
you guys get one. If you guys get one, then I guess I'll get one.
Yeah, we'll do like a group package discount thing. I'm sure.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I have over 10 Jets hats, so like I don't know. I just might keep collecting it.
Yeah, I think even in my heyday, I only had 3, and I think 2 of them were beanies.
I have so much Jet stuff. I think I should just be the memorabilia and fanatics guy. I should just give everybody stuff. You get something.
Hey, the world could use more
open point, man. Like all of this.
I mean, half of that is basically mine. What Gunny has, so.
Yeah, y'all put me to shame, yo. I cracked up because I'm like,
and then the Jet sign on the right. The Jet sign on my right, your left.
Yeah, and that's yours. That's yours too. Well, I paid for it. I
know. I didn't say anything.
No. I'm just I'm just making sure. I don't want people thinking they can just get shit from you for free. You got to pay for this stuff if y'all want
it. Hey man, if you want quality, you know who to call.
And he's not lying. Like facts. He's telling no lies.
Hey man, quality costs, unfortunately. But no, we should do a mock draft. We should see what comes up this week. If you guys want to, it's up to you. I know it's in the middle of the day. I know, Gunny, with your work and Bank's work, I know it can be difficult.
Speaking of which,
but
I got to get back to the office here.
Yes, sir.
It's rough out here. Yeah, I know somebody's.
It's already been an hour.
Yeah, it's an hour. It's an hour right now.
Been an hour
guys,
already, bro. That's crazy.
This is fun as usual. I need to brush up on some stuff and take a nap, and then I'll get back.
Not the midday nap, yo. All right, let's get this man some sleep.
Nah, man. I got The Bachelor on tonight. I gotta be ready.
Are we talking a show or
Bachelor? You know Bachelor. You guys seen The Bachelor before?
I haven't.
I've heard of it. I've never watched it.
Okay, I'm surrounded by fools. Anyways, guys, this is Just Flight Squad.
Y'all like, all right, time to go. That's it.
Cut.
Have a good night, Joe.
Or dark. Or we could just say I could take a nap when I'm dead, but that's too dark.
So. Italy is a 76-year-old man, Dark Soldier, coming for you.
He is not lying, though. I mean, if you all just knew, if you all knew. I just have good skincare. I could be 76.
Hey, live your best life. We just know that you're only gonna be awake for 4 hours out the day. That's cool.
I only get 4
we
hours
get
of
it
sleep,
now.
so there you go.
We get it.
All right, boys, gentlemen, this is always fun. This is the Jets Flight Squad. I'm Italy Jet.
Gunny Gummy.
Peace.
Out.